Well, good morning, my scrappy people. We are trying the live again. Last week I had so many issues. I think I've figured something out, so hopefully we'll stay on today. If you're on, go ahead and say hello. I would love to hear from you. I'm just making sure that I made it on. Perfect. I am here. So go ahead and, shout out if you're on. And I would love to say hello to you. So we are working on challenge 11 for this year, for 2025. I'm trying to number them so I can keep track. And I did start doing blogs again, and they're very simple. So it just has a place where you can print this off every week. I literally just copy and paste this from the CM blog. I might add a couple of my own notes. I'll put the pictures in there, but then I put it in one a nifty little sheet here so you can print it right off my blog. And then when I'm done with this video, I'm hoping Facebook's been so weird because I couldn't download my lives and now suddenly I can again. I don't know what's going on, so I'm trying it again. I'm hoping I can put those on my blog when I'm done so you can rewatch them there, because they do go away from Facebook after 30 days. So we're figuring it out, friends. It'll be okay. Technology is so fun, and so is social media. So we are walking through this, and I wanted to show you a little bit about project recipes. So I know this is kind of a different challenge than what we've done in the past. Before, we just had the picture and the instructions. This one has a cutting guide and then how to put it together. And if you've ever done project recipes, this is what this is essentially. What I like about other project recipes, it typically uses more of the paper than this one does. This is kind of scrapped out. And you'll see I kind of doubled these up a little bit. And I don't know if you can see very well, but on here I actually wrote which of my papers I will be using for each one so I don't get confused. So I will be walking through that, and it'll help you know how to use a project recipe as well. I have come to really enjoy project recipes. In fact, when I power crop, I have the 52 project recipes book. I tend to pick a few out of there. I'll go on the blog on Creative Memories and just find a blog, nothing like this, and I will pick my photos that go with it. I'll pick my paper that goes with it, stick it in a file, and pick out my punch and make sure it's packed, and then write notes on my paper, and I've power cropped, right? I have everything I need to do that page. So power cropping can mean a lot of things for a lot of people, but I do love these for that. So I'm going to walk through how to do this. It's actually very easy. Once you get going and once you use these, you're going to probably love them. So the other thing I wanted to mention is the project playbooks. These are very similar to this. This was the On the Mend one I got from my Buy It All bundle. And in here, I'm not going to show you everything because you have to buy these. But there's cutting guides for all the paper you get. It uses most of it. This one doesn't use all of the collection. It uses most. When it says project playbook, it means it will use most of your stuff or help you use some of your stuff. Project guidebooks, however, use all of it. So that's what the National Scrapbook Day one is. And then we also have the project recipe kits, which will also help you use all of your collection and your paper there. And if you come to National Scrapbook Day, voila, you'll get one of these kits free with your fee, and you can do it, and we can do it together if you want. So you'll get one of these cool kits, and I made my pages for this, and I love them. My husband's a big gardener, and then even when I didn't have gardening pages, I just use outdoorsy pages, and they turned out really nice. In fact, I wish I had them handy right now. I don't have them handy. I had him and Lucy watching a sunset, and it was super cute, and the trees were around them, and it was really cute. I use this for Disney, for the Flower and Garden Festival. So I mean, this is a really handy thing. Even if you don't garden, it can go with so much stuff. Mother's Day, it's a great thing for that. So if you want to come to my National Scrapbook Day, please let me know and I'll send you a link. It's going to be May 2nd and 3rd, so a Friday evening and a Saturday all day. So it's a 5 to 10 Friday, 9 to 6 Saturday. It's only $35, and there'll be all kinds of fun. We're just going to celebrate scrapbooking, so it's going to be a great time. There'll be some prizes and good stuff. So make sure you sign up for that. Like I said, you'll get one of these kits in your registration, so you get to play with that. But just wanted to walk through that while I had you. But as I said, the project guidebooks will use up everything, and this is what comes with your customer bundle. So it uses that kit and then the additional stuff if you want to get the rest. So this one will walk you through like how to put together all these pages, and these pages are gorgeous. I have not done them yet. I have obviously done the kits, but I have not done these ones, so it'll show you how to cut the rest of it up. And then between that kit and this, you'll have made, I want to say it's 13 pages, which is amazing. It's really cool. So 6 2-page spreads. So this is 12, so more than that actually, because that's 4, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 pages. So pretty awesome. It's a really good deal in my mind. And you get some really cute stuff to do. And then the project playbook, these come out with all the buy it all bundles. And these are great because if you have a collection and you don't know how to quite use it, these will show you ideas. It'll give you a cutting guide. It'll show you how to put it together. And then, oh, this one I was impressed with. You have to make like 10 pages out of this. So I love it. Actually, it's like layout 6, 5, so double page, so I think 12 pages. It's pretty cool. So this is totally 10 pages, so there must be a couple single pages in there. And these come with every buy it all collection. What I like too is that these don't have to be used with the on-demand collection. I can literally plug and play any paper into these and just cut them according to the guide. And I have my whole collection here. I have a whole spread or a whole almost book done because of these. So I've been getting these every time. The only one I failed to get before it was gone was the Spring Soiree. I cannot say that word. And I did get the downloadable one. So you can get the whole book, like this nice, very professionally made, awesome thick book for $5, or you can get a digital download and print it yourself for $2. So, and they do have the hole punches, and Amber shared with us a few weeks ago that they are going to have a binder come out that you can file these in. So it's pretty exciting. And then they'll have like little tabs so you can file these and virtual crops and whatever. So if you're into organizing, keep an eye out for that. So you're going to want to get these to go in your binder. I'm hoping they bring back the Spring Soiree version of this as well, so I can get it because I really like the hard copy. So just so you know, we're going to be doing something similar with our challenge today. So if you have questions about any of that, I know I just threw a ton at you guys, holler at me. I would be happy to answer. I am watching comments, and as long as my internet's holding fast, I can see them popping up. I haven't seen any yet, so if you commented, it's probably not working. But so I will catch up after. As I said, we are walking through this one right here. It's our weekly challenge on my Ashley Scrappy VIP page, or group. My page is the wider one, so it's on my group. You need to request to join this one, so request to join if you want to get on. And I post a challenge every week, Friday mornings. I draw the following Friday morning. You have to have it in Thursday at midnight. So just join and you can get some inspiration. So I'm thinking summer. I'm so close to finishing Disney, you guys. I have a few pictures left, but they all are different ways than what my challenges have been. And I know I can turn them, but nothing's really sparked my inspiration for what I have left yet. So those are kind of lingering. I have a couple title pages to do, so I'm so close. And it's going to be like 3 albums, so I cannot believe I did that much in that short amount of time. But these challenges have helped, virtual crops have helped. So if you want to know how I get on all those, please reach out to me. I would love to help you. So, like I said, I'm thinking summer, and I'm working through 2024 now because that was after Disney. And I'm doing this fun gathering we had with our New York family when they came to visit last summer. So I'm using the summer break paper for that, and I'm going to use some other random stickers, like other summer collections, because all I got was the paper. I have the rest of it in my wish list. I'm probably going to end up getting it, let's just be honest, because this is such a cute collection. So summer break is this paper right here. So many fun things. Oops, I got bonus stickers. And this is not part of it. I don't know what happened here. I got stuff mixed in. And the paper is so cute, and it's been one of my favorites. So I'm gonna get the rest of it probably. This is the first pack I've used, and I'm like, okay, I need more. I already need more. So really cute. It's still available. It's from last summer's collection, and I'm in love with it. I know other customers who are too. So definitely look into that if you're interested. So what I'm going to do is just walk through the instructions with you, show you how easy it is to do, so you don't have to panic. I picked up my punch here. I'm going to use the waves. I forget what it's called. The white capped waves, I believe. punch for this. I got my circle cutter, but I also have my custom cutting circles. So you could use either one for this. So I'll show you both probably. And yeah, we can go ahead and get started. So our first step one is use 2 sheets of white solid cardstock. And they use white on here. It's hard to see because I printed on white. I am going to use white as well. I toyed with using canary. I think I will like white more though because it'll help things pop a little bit better. So those are my bases. I can set those aside for now. The other option you can use is actually your cover sheet. It can also be a base. This is more paper, not as cardstocky, but if you don't mind, this can also be your base. I'm going to keep mine because my paper's so new. When I have paper about to run out, I tend to set these aside and use them to like cut circles out of or just use for white paper. So you can definitely use those as a base as well. And now I have these 3 sheets I'm using, and you're like, 3? Actually, there's 4. There's 4 things you're cutting. While that's true, I am partnering up a couple of these. So I have the green and blue rectangles I'm going to use for this part, but I'm also going to squeeze in my border as the limes. So it'll fit perfectly fine according to this. So I'm gonna show you how you can combine here. So you could even only use, I think you can get away with using 2 papers if you really wanted to, just depending how much room that is there. So I'm pretty sure you can combine those if you wanted to. So I'm gonna use 3 just because I wanted a little more variety, and we're gonna keep walking through. So using the playground border punch 1 border from the black solid cardstock, which it was this one, I believe. I can barely read it, but they use this. I'm just gonna probably go through and cut all my pieces out. So these instructions as you go through are gonna match this cutting guide. I like to go through each paper and do it. You can do it however you want, and then use the 12-inch trimmer to trim 2 inches, blah, blah, blah. So it's just walking me through what this is reiterating. The one thing I do want to point out, excuse me, is right here. I bolded this. It wasn't bolded on the original directions, but be sure to pay attention to the direction of the paper pattern on both sides before cutting. And I've made this mistake time and time again where I'm looking at my paper and I go, oh yay, I'm gonna cut this dot this way, and then I get to turn it and I'm like, oh, my waves are going the wrong way. So you definitely want to pay attention which way you're cutting and which way the paper is going to go on your layout. So just take note of that, be aware of it, be aware of which papers are directional that you're working with. Like the watermelons are directional. I'm not really going to use those. I'm mostly using this side. And then on here, the limes aren't really directional. So this kind of is, but it just depends on your taste. I don't really care which way this is going as long as it's going the same way. So just pay attention to that. But what I found helpful, as I said before, is I wrote which papers I'm using for each one. So I know, oh, I got to grab my blue waves for this one. And I do that with every project recipe I do. Just so I don't get confused and I remember what I'm doing, especially if I'm power cropping. Because like I might be power cropping a week before, and then I get to my crop and I'm like, wait, what was I using for this? So I'll get my papers out. I'm like, oh, I don't remember. So you just want to make sure you know what you're doing and then take note of it. So the first one I'm going to use the blue waves for. And I'm going to note we're cutting it this way, but it's going to layer, if you find the blue on here, it's going to lay this way. So I'm going to want to turn my paper so my waves are going the right way. So we're trimming these to 2 by 12. So I'm going to line this up on the 2-inch. All right. And I like to pile these. I kind of organize them. You probably can't see it on camera, but I like to organize these kind of above me here so I know what I have when I'm going through and putting it all together. And we're going to do another 2 because there's 2 strips here. Just making sure. All right, so there's my other one. And then there's this teeny tiny little slice here, and that goes with on this mat. I don't know what mats I'm using yet. I am going to go ahead and just cut that slice just for posterity. And I might end up using the dot side because the dot side doesn't matter which direction it is. And it just depends what mat I use. But even then, a little banner with the waves, it's not going to matter in my head. So I'm still going to go this way. I could go this way because really all I need is a 1/2 inch by this. So I could go this way and turn my paper. I don't really mind. So I'm just going to leave it this way because I don't like to break up my paper that much. So whatever you want to do with that one is totally fine. This will be the last thing we do for this sheet. So whatever works for you. Go ahead and cut the whole 1/2 inch down. And then we only need 1 3/4 this way. So 1 3/4. I could probably just use scissors to do this, but we will just cut it. And this will end up being a little banner. So I'm just going to set that aside. And then the rest of this is stuff for other projects, or if you want to use the other side, you could cut like probably these out on, I would imagine that would be fine. So I believe those would fit because you need like a 5 and a 1/2 inch and another like 2. So I'm pretty sure that would work because these only add up to like 4. So mathing, you know me and mathing. It's a fun time. But I'm going to use a different sheet for this one. So now I'm going to move on to this orange shaded pieces here, which I'm using the green and blue rectangle paper. I wrote that down. I don't know what they're called. So I just describe what I see, right? So it's okay. All right. So again, directionally, I'm like, it doesn't matter to me so much. This one's a little weird because we're cutting like piece on piece on piece. So usually with these you have more straight cuts. This part's a little funky. So I'm going to begin with cutting a 2x4. So I'm just going to cut 2. And I'm probably going to like try to get down to 4 as close as I can. I like these lines because I can kind of watch them when I'm cutting. I'm going to turn my paper and line it up at the 4. And I'm just going to cut a chunk out because I'd rather not cut the whole strip if I don't have to, especially if I'm going to punch a border out on this later. I'm going to use it for this too. So there's my 2x4. Again, I'm going to kind of set these up here. And then we're going to actually turn it back this way and make sure we have 10 here, which I'm pretty sure this is going to equal 10 because I cut 2 out and that would, you know, mathing, that should work. So I'm going to line it up on my line. Yep, that's 10. So if it's a little longer, I don't really mind. And so then we're going to turn it and then do 1 3/4. So line it up right there. There's a line that goes all the way down for the 3/4 line, which I appreciate. And there's that piece. So we got this piece now. They kind of butt into each other on the paper. They kind of come together like this. So you just want to like cut your little piece and then cut your longer piece. And then we also have another little teeny tiny piece here. It's 3/4 by 1 and a 1/4. So, and that's kind of underneath this piece. I could cut it here too because there's really nothing there. So I think I'm going to make my own color and go to the 3/4. So I'm pretty sure that can equal, yeah, that at least equals that. So 3/4, right? Yes. I'm going to line it up right here. Just do my little teeny tiny cut. And then it only has to be 1 1/4 long. So this is probably why they did it like this. It's kind of hard to measure it on here because it's not against a wall. But I'm okay with that. So 1 1/4. So we're going to kind of... You're watching me do all kinds of trimmer tricks today, which is good because the trimmer is very good for things like this. It feels so short. Oh my gosh. Okay. Just a little knob right here. So that's the only little piece we need. I think it's for a banner. And so we're going to set that aside. And now as you can see, the rest of the pieces I have on here are circles. So I'm going to set my trimmer aside for just a moment. And I'm going to show you guys how to cut out the circles. And what I like about this is my circle can either end up being lines or it can end up being these. And once I go to put my page together, I'll decide. So it doesn't really matter which side you're cutting on as long as you know your direction of your paper and it doesn't matter, right? So, and with circles, you can turn them. So even if it's the wrong direction, you can still turn them and they'll be fine. So for this one, it says for circle H, which is this biggest one, use the outside of the smallest circle in your custom cutting circles, which your smallest one's this one. It's a trio. So when it says largest, it's this one, not your jumbo. Okay, like that gets so confusing for people. If it says jumbo, you want this guy. Just because he doesn't come with this collection. He's a standalone. He comes alone. So when it says a trio, it's talking about these are your largest. This is your largest, not this one, okay? If it says jumbo, this is the one you use. So just clarifying because that gets very confusing for people. However, we're using our smallest And I think what I'm going to do actually is use my circle cutter for this. And I like the circle cutter because it has a wide range of sizes you can cut, whereas these are a little bit set. I mean, you have a bunch of options and you can get close enough usually, but I like this one because it has a little more flexibility. However, it does not go below 3 inches on here. So if you need like a 2-inch circle or something, you're gonna have to use one of these guys. But I'm gonna cut a 4.5. So what I'm gonna do is find a 4.5 mark, and on here there's 4 marks between. So you're just gonna go between 2 and 3 for your 1/2 inch line. So I'm gonna set that, tighten her down. Not sure how well you can see this, but on there we have our 4.5. All right, and then I'm gonna kind of do a test run. I'm gonna kind of hold down the center part, and I'm gonna spin it around, make sure I'm staying on the paper, not going off any creases. And then when I'm ready to cut, I'm gonna push in this white button and push down. And then I'm gonna go all the way around. It's a little cumbersome, but you just kind of exchange hands as you go. And before I move anything, I like to pull up on all my sides and make sure my circle is all cut. And it looks like we're good. So I can remove that, and there's my circle. So that's 4.5. That's number H there. Letter H there. And then I think for my smaller circles, this will go down to 3. I'm going to show you with this, however, with my custom cutting. And then it says for I and J, which are 3 inches, we're going to use the inside of our largest. So again, largest circle is this one, not your jumbo. I'm going to put that here, and we're using the blue blade. So I got my little canister here, my blades. I love this thing. I just throw it in my turning caddy. And I can just pop it in there, and all my blades are together. I'm not wandering around my caddy separately. They're all together and they're not lonely. And I'm gonna cut 2 circles with my blue blade because that is a 3-inch circle. Now, if you are not sure what size your circle is because you don't have instructions telling you what sizes these are, the collections of circles in all the shapes really come with this little sheet. Hopefully you don't throw it away and you didn't cut it up. And it'll tell you what each of these is. So like the center of the medium into the blue blade is a 2-inch. The center of the large is a 3-inch, is what we're going for. If we were to use this for our last circle we cut, we want the blue blade with the medium or the smallest circle on the outside. So I love this because it helps me know, okay, if it says, oh, you need a 3-inch circle, I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's the blue blade. You know, I'm not gonna remember that. If I pull this out, however, I'm like, okay, 3-inch, that's the largest circle, blue blade in the center. So this is a very helpful tool for you. Do not throw it away if you get it. If you did throw it away, reach out to home office, customer service, they'll probably send you a new one. So just hang on to those though, because when I first had this system, I was like, I don't know if I need this. And now that I'm a mature scrapbooker, I know I need to keep that. So just so you know, hang on to it. So we're going to use our blue blade in the middle. We're going to kind of put it in this track here. And I love these blades because they turn. The old ones do not. So if you have not upgraded, I highly recommend it because it'll save your wrist. And then we're going to kind of layer it. Again, I'm going to look kind of around my circle. Nothing's off the edge. And I'm just going to go for it. And again, I liked, before I move anything, I kind of pull up. It's all free. So there we go. We got one. Now we need a second. And I am going to line this up kind of close to the others because I want to preserve paper. This paper's so cool. I don't want to use it all. Who else is like that with paper? You just got to keep it all. Oops. Again, you got to make sure your little knobs are in the track. Once in a while I miss and then it rips. Okay. And there we go. And our circle turns so we know it's free. All right. So that one's done. We're done with our circles. Easy peasy. I'm going to put these away so they're out of my way. Back in my little turning caddy over here. I stink at shutting my blades and then I cut myself on it, so I gotta remember to always shut my blades. Sometimes I throw them in there because I'm in a rush or whatever. Put them back in my little box and I'm gonna throw this back in my caddy. There we go. All right. I'm actually gonna jump to this one because I'm gonna cut the limes out, or I'm sorry, not the limes. On the lime paper, I'm thinking my board is gonna be made out of the limes. However, I could use the other side. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to use the waves. And the playground punch they used, it's not a chain punch, meaning this one cuts out on both sides. So this one's a chain. It means it's still on the paper, an edge is still on the paper, which is why they say cut it at 2. This one, however, is going to be a chain. So we're just going to roll with it because I can go through both sides. I can put a tool through both ends of it. So it's going to be a little bit different, but that's okay. Any punch will do because it's very versatile, this layout. And we're just going to line her up. This is such a cool punch. I love it. With our punch here. Ooh, that's hard to see with the plaid. But you're going to line it back up. On the other side, you have these little designs on the wings of your border punch. And you're just going to line it up. There's also these little triangles left that help you, especially repeating patterns like this. The playground punch would be easy because it's kind of one shape. The waves just keep going, and there's sometimes, like there's 2 waves in here. So I'm going to line that up. I know it's hard for you guys to see how this is working. But you're just going to line it up with a graphic on the wing of your border punch. Fill in the blue. So you only see the silver. And if you've used a border punch before, you know how super easy these are. I love these. They're one of my favorite tools. I love the border maker system as well. Anything that makes borders, I'm all for. Just because it adds such a cool like layer to your page. So I didn't have to punch that last one, I don't think. So there's my waves. Aren't they fun? All right, and I think I only did that once, so I can put my punch away now. Such an easy layout. I love it. I'm going to set that aside. I've well used it. Throw these little guys away. I do like to look at my quote-unquote punch poop and see like what kind of cool shapes fall. Like, these are fun little waves, you know, I could plug in somewhere. I'm not going to do that here, so I'm just going to throw them away, and I can always go back through my trash and pick them out if I don't really want them. Alright, so I did this one and this one. All we have left is our yellow here on our key, and I am going to use this ombre yellow and orange, and I'm actually going to cut it this way because I want a fun little effect on my page. So I am going to make sure I cut the paper like this, which might seem, you know, off. The other side's watermelons. I don't think I'm going to use the watermelons. I just want to use this ombre. So I might, if there's a little banner involved, there is a little banner involved, so maybe I'll end up using the watermelons. We'll see. So we need a 1/2 inch by 12, and that's going to be this little teeny strip that makes it look like it was a bigger strip, but it wasn't. Haha, we're saving paper. And we are just going to cut a 1/2 inch to begin by 12. So we're going to line that up on our trimmer. I'm just going on faith there. Looks like it was good. All right, and then we need a 5 by 12. So we're going to go all the way out here. Line it up down the line, all the way down. And you can do little minor adjustments once you close the arm of this, which I like because it helps keep it snug while I'm adjusting. Perfect. There's our bigger piece. And then we're going to do these teeny little pieces again. So one's a 2 by 1 3/4, so it's almost square. So 2, it's like going to be too wide. So the first number is always the wide, and the other number is always the long. So we're going to cut 2, and we just need a little smidge. And actually, I might cut further down. Well, it's fine. All right, and then 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 is right here. These teeny tiny pieces, and these are just going to be kind of like the little filler pieces throughout. And this one's going to be fully yellow, which is totally fine. Or I can use the watermelon side if I feel like it. We'll see what looks best, right? And then we have another little teeny tiny piece for our banner piece, and that's going to be 3/4 by 1 1/2. So I'm going to kind of figure out how to do this using my paper to the best of its ability. And again, I don't really care which way the watermelons go. So I think what I'll do is go to 3/4. I'm just going to recut this way. And I did a lot more than I probably needed to downward, but that's okay. And then, let's see, 1 1/2. So we're going to go this way. And there we go, there's a little banner piece. All right, and you can set this guy aside for another project, or if you need to add, you know, mats or something later, you could do that too. All right, so I'm gonna set my trimmer aside at this point, and I'm gonna get my bases back out. Here we go. All right, so we've cut all of our pieces, our circles, our punches, and now we're gonna adhere everything down. So I'm gonna set my pieces around so I can actually lay this out. Okay. Kind of have to reorganize after cutting all my pieces. Hopefully I'm still on screen. I'm a little behind on what I'm watching, so I gotta make sure you guys can still see me. All right, so here are my bases. And right here's kind of our key on how to put everything together. So piece A was one of these blue pieces. I don't always go A, B, C, D. I kind of layer it how I think it's gonna work out best. So I know this is gonna be at the top, right? So I'm kind of lay it out before I do much, and I'm probably gonna turn this piece because I like the orange meeting in the middle, and then going back out to ombre there, to the yellow. All right, and then if you're gonna, like, I see this piece and I'm like, what the heck piece is that? I'm like, D, okay, that was an orange piece, which on mine was the blue, so it was this one right here. And then I can decide, do I want to use the lime side or this side? For now, I'm gonna use this side. And I like to lay it out before I stick things down because I like to see how it's gonna look. And then I can flip pieces and kind of play with it and see, like, oh, I think I like this better. Oh, I like that better. Now the issue I'm gonna run into here are my photos are much smaller, not much smaller. They're a little smaller than these on here, which I didn't think about until just now. Because I get True Digital, as you can see, there's a strip on here. They used to cut them off. This is through Walgreens that I use. Because I'm impatient, I don't like to wait for mail. And so I'm gonna have to cut these off. But these end up only being like 5 1/4, I believe. 5 1/4. I measure every time because I can never remember. And just between 5 1/4 and 5 1/2. So these are gonna be a little different than what's pictured here. So I might have some white showing, and I'm okay with that. I know it's a risk I take by getting weird size photos. I'm gonna go ahead and trim this off right now on my photo trimmer. Might as well just do them all while I'm here. So much fun. Makes me want campfires and cookouts again. There's such a good time with our in-laws. All right. Set my trimmer aside again. Alright, and then I'm gonna kind of set my photos around. I know I need more pieces below here. It looks like they used a border sticker to kind of layer. I'm not sure what I'm doing there yet. As you know, I'm such a planner. So I say that very tongue-in-cheek. So I'm gonna kind of set my photo here. And I know there's gonna be some white because my photo is shorter. Now if you had a 4x6, this would meet. I'm probably just going to layer them. I might intentionally put white around each one, just so it looks like I meant to do that. But we'll see. I could always cut another piece of this bigger, but I don't know. I'm not sure how committed I am to that. So my other photos are going to kind of go right here. I just like to lay things out and see what it's going to look like, right? All right, so then I'm kind of going from the top down a little bit. It looks like, okay, we're gonna layer a circle toward the top there and put one over here. So I kind of like the idea of doing this one a different way, and this top one I might switch up and make it the lime side. I'm just gonna kind of layer under our photo like that. Okay. So the whole thing with this is you just want to lay it out, see how it's gonna look, and then go from there. Okay, and then my blue pieces were my waves. So I guess I remember having to be very intentional which way I cut those. So this, it looks like they used a border sticker there as well. So I'm just gonna kind of pull this up, and I have to remember my photos are smaller, they're shorter. So I'm gonna kind of use my judgment here. I'm not sure if that border sticker is hiding a seam or if this is actually butting up against this. So maybe I'll start with it butting up and then go from there. I'm guessing there's a border sticker between there, but for now we'll start with that. And then we have this circle, which I'm not sure which side I want. Yeah, I think I like the limes for this part. And then over here we have our little pieces. Let's see. Oh, I think we cut one of our pieces. Is that right? Because that is an orange underneath. I think we cut. No, it doesn't make sense. This is my brain again. Let's see, piece F. What's piece? Oh, I see. There's another piece I did not cut because I didn't see the line on my printout. So there's another piece that needs to be 2. I wondered about that. That was super weird. It needs to be 2 by 1 3/4. So my apologies on that one. And that was with which paper? The rectangles. Not a problem. I still have a bunch. So I'm gonna set this aside. This happens sometimes, especially when I print them out. I can't see the lines as well. So yeah, piece F is in there as well, kind of hiding. So we need that one to be 2 by 1 3/4. It looks like we got the 2 already. Yay! Okay. So now I just gotta go 1 3/4. Which part of me's wondering if it's gonna be turned a weird way. So maybe I need to go, let's see here. Because they're all being cut. It doesn't matter. Alright, so we got the 2. Oops. Haha. I almost went to 1. 2 3/4 by, I'm sorry, 2 by 1 3/4. I need more coffee. So I'm just going to do this, cut it down a little bit. And I'm going to turn it again. And we need the 1 3/4. Okay, that'll work. Alright, so yes, we did miss piece F, which is fine. Because we can always go back and do it. And now when you're cutting like bigger versions of this, like they're using the whole paper, which happens very often with project recipes, you will know if you missed a piece because you're like, this doesn't equal what it looks like. Here, luckily, I had paper left I could use. So we're going to put this kind of in the corner. Well, actually, it's going to butt right up underneath here. Like that. And then piece Q. Oh, one of those. I think it's O because there's no Q. It's going to go up against here. So that's part of our border. We're going to actually trim our border at 2 inches. So again, I'm going to need this guy. Forgot we had to cut our border too because it's going to go across both pages. So 2 inches. Alright. It still looks too big. I wonder if I have to turn this. That's okay. Actually, it actually works out better that way because I think the other piece is going to go this way too. There we go. Alright. Now I think I'm done with my trimmer. Too funny. Okay. And we have this wave piece. So like I said, I'm just working my way down. No big deal. And I am gonna, it's hard because my photo sizes and I don't know what size, how dependent it's gonna be on that. I think we're gonna do that. Put this up against, and then I think I like it like this. This is perfectly fine. I like the lime waves too. I think it's super funny. All right, and then as you can see on here, they have a mat here. If you had another photo to put on here, you could put that there instead. I'm gonna try to find a cute summer mat. It's not gonna be from the summer break collection, but I have a bunch of older summer collection mats to use. I also have this piece. Where did this piece go? Oh, this one finishes off your thing over here, which I could use the watermelon side, but I don't know if that works here. So I'm gonna just kind of do that. There we go. I was like, I have another piece, and then I have all these little banner pieces that are supposed to go on the mat I put down here. However, I could also make them banners and then stick them somewhere else on my page. So it's not a big deal. For my mats, I have a bunch in here that I've organized. So these are some summer mats I've had from previous collections, and sometimes, actually a lot of the times, CM collections play nice together, especially if they're the same season. I could do a fun noteworthy. That one's kind of cute, actually. Enjoying summer. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, that might be the winner. Just kidding. Because I do have more of these pictures. I'm going to have to journal somewhere, but it doesn't have to be. These are from, I want to say the Sunrise for Days, or even one before that. I don't remember the name right now. These are literally a mix of mats. I take all my leftover mats and I file them into one of those photo mates, the little file mates. And that way I just have them all in one place, because the rest of the collection might be gone. And I'm like, well, I have all these mats still. So I put them in a file mate. That way if I need a summer mat, like in this instance, I pull them out and I look through them. I think that one's gonna win. That's such a cute little title. That I don't have to title so much either. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I still have some of the Sunrise for Days. It was like one of my most favorite collections, and so I used that up quick. And then Sweet Summertime from last year or 2 years ago. That one was one of my favorites too. I just love all of that. I love all of the summer collections. I think they're so fun. So, as you can see, I got lots of options here. I'm not sure what's still available out of these. I'm pretty sure most of them are gone now. Oh, the watermelon's cute though. It matches your shirt. Ooh. I think I like that one more. I think I do. And then, yeah, just some fun little things that I've used over the years. So I think I'm going to use that one just because I like the title on it, and the colors go very nice. So I put my mats back. And so I have these little banners. I don't think I'm going to use them on here though, because the popsicles kind of do it for me. However, I am going to still turn them into banners. And to do that, I'm going to take my little scissors. I could use micro tip. Probably micro tip would be better for this. My micro tip scissors. And you could, you know, take these and try to make a little L out of them. These might be too small. One trick I do is I don't fully fold it in half, but I kind of hold it like corner to corner in half. These are gonna be hard because they're small, but mine might get folded and that's okay. I will make it work. I'm very like, whatever. And you're gonna want to hold it like in the middle, and then you're gonna take your scissors. It's so hard to show you because it's such a small piece, and cut from the corners that are meeting, not the middle, because I've done that before. And I'm like, oh, that made an arrow, not a banner. And you're gonna cut up like that, snip it off, and you'll have a perfectly even banner. Look at that. Now this one's gonna be harder. It's very narrow. I could try it, I suppose, because you're gonna cut off the part that's getting kind of folded anyway. And even if they're not even, this is a cute page for them not to be even on, because it's kids, you know, it's just fun. That one's not going to be as even, but that's okay. I'm working with what I got here. And then our last one, again, gonna kind of fold it in half, but not too hard of a fold. And you're gonna kind of hold it in the middle. Yeah, gotta turn it this way because I'm right-handed. And you're gonna cut from the corners that meets up, just a little triangle, and you got banners, perfectly good banners. So you can do that with any size. The smaller ones are harder to do it on, obviously, but it works okay. And then these, they have it down here in this mat. I'm just gonna probably put them in a corner somewhere because I like them, but I don't like them in the mat because of my other mat here. So I like my mat the way it is. But I am going to kind of layer them. I might stick them like up here. So I've laid it out. I like how it looks, and now I just got to stick it all down. That's it. And then I can add some embellishments and stickers. And like I said, I love project recipes because it literally tells me exactly how to cut things per this, and then it shows you how to put it down. It's like putting a puzzle together. So I love that. All right, so I'm going to remove my pictures for a moment, so I can stick this all down. My little banners are going to kind of layer on top. So I'm going to start with like the bottom layer, which I started top and worked my way down. It's just easier for me. There are some instances where things are on top of other things, you might have to layer it differently, just depending on the layout. But Luckily there's a lot of grace with this layout too, so it doesn't matter like how far from the top you start, just know you'll have some white space at the bottom or whatever color you're using underneath, which I like the white. I'm glad I went with white. I was gonna use canary and I was like, I don't know, I mean it matches, but I'm starting to like white as my base just because it helps the colors pop in my mind. Not with every layout. I think you gotta be choosy about it, but I've been digging, there's this lady named Brenda Rose who joined CM from Close to My Heart, and she's a really well-known person through Close to My Heart from a lot of the previous makers there, and she uses white all the time, and it has made me love white. Whereas before I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't need to use white. And now I'm like, dude, I need white. I need to use white for this. And it has changed my whole mindset on, you know, using white as a background. So yay, I love getting other perspectives. And she's just amazing. Her work is gorgeous, and I'm like so envious of it. It's just amazing. I am lining my things up hopefully as close as I can. I could just put my paper together, but I'm kind of looking at measurements on my mats as well. And then, like I said, I'm just working my way down. So I'm going to do my waves. I'm not watching time, so hopefully I'm not keeping you guys on here. We're getting close to the ending here. I don't like doing more than an hour, but I try to keep it to like 45, 40. This one might be a little bit longer because I was yakking a little bit at the beginning there. So my apologies, but if you have to get off, go ahead and get off. You can rewatch this later, like I said, in my blog or my YouTube, which my blog will be linked right to my YouTube, pending I can download this, because Facebook's being very weird about lives lately, and I don't know the rules anymore. They keep changing them like week to week. It's really crazy. I think they got enough complaints that they let you download again, but they still get rid of them after 30 days, from my understanding. So I'm going to be categorizing these in my blog and on YouTube. So if you want to rewatch them, that would be the best bet, is to follow me on YouTube. Still want you on here, but. And then for these little wave pieces, I'm going to use my repositional and my silicone mats. I love repositional for these little tedious things. And I'm going to kind of layer it on here. Oops. It's very sticky. There we go. And then I might as well just do this one while I have it out anyway. I think the plaid side looked really cool too, but since I'm putting it on plaid, I could also, I mean, I already stuck it on here, but the other option would be, oh, that would have looked really cool actually. I could have done that as well. I like that you can flip the pieces and kind of play with them. So you know what you want after you cut them. Even after you cut them, I'm still sometimes like, oh, I think I like that better. So it's okay to change your mind. In fact, I don't trust people that don't change their mind sometimes because they're not open to growth, right? So, I know, maybe that doesn't make any sense, but I like people that evolve and learn and, you know, learn more about other people. So, and how to do things. So it's okay to change your mind. These aren't as even as I wanted them, but that's okay. And I got my little piece here. Oops, use the wrong one. I could use repo, but the worst is when I grab the wrong tape runner, in the sense that I'm trying to put down a very tedious border and I don't pay attention which tape runner I grabbed, and I use like the actual tape runner on a tedious border and I go thinking it's a repositional, and then all of a sudden I have this white. I'm like, no, like it's happened a lot lately, and I'm like, what the heck is wrong with me? It's so frustrating. So I'm trying to like keep my repo like separate, and then when I'm only in the repo, I try to keep this one. It's funny. Anyway, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's done that. So, and then I'm gonna put my little mat on here. It's so cute. I love it. Oh my goodness, you guys, it doesn't. But like I said, repo works anywhere. It's the other way, what you're kind of have to watch out for. Using regular on something that should be repoed. That's not fun. Okay. I'm gonna move this. Oh, I gotta ask the question, do I like the lines? Oh, I was gonna have that the other way. That's okay. Oh, maybe not. I think I was gonna have this one this way and lines on this side. And it doesn't really matter. They all match so well. Anyway, I'm gonna tilt that a little bit because I think it'd be cute. And then this one, we're gonna layer the photo on top of it. Sorry, I'm trying to get through this as fast as I can. And just like that pretty much. And then our little banners. How fun. So we're going to start with our longest piece. You could repo these as well. I mean, not as a use repositional tape runner, but I'm pretty confident how I want these. They are smaller. I might need to use some repositional on the ends of them for now, and for time's sake, I'm just gonna, well, maybe I want to layer it that way. That's fine. Ooh, do I like the lime side? I think I like that side better. So many options on this one, and this paper is so cute. So I'm gonna kind of layer like that. Perfect. All right, we're coming together. It's great. All right, so I'm gonna take my one photo, and I will embellish and stuff off camera just so you don't have to go through the agony of me being indecisive and not knowing where to put things, because I am that person for sure. Oh, I want to layer this underneath kind of. Okay, this one's gonna go on top. Which one did I have here? Did it matter? I think I want this one here. I think that's how I want it. It doesn't matter. It's all one layout. And like I said, I have way more pictures of this gathering that I need to do, so it's okay. I put the girls here. Also trying to keep it even with the page next door. So in that case, yeah, see how uneven those are? Oh my gosh, you guys. I don't mind. They're going to be separated anyway in my book. I mean, they'll be next to each other, but it's not like they're going to be right next to each other. So I am not a big persnickety. It has to be even person if you haven't figured that out by now. Actually, those are butting up against each other, aren't they? That's why it's so... I should have been looking at my instructions while I was doing this. They're kind of next to each other. Which I might just do a little gap just for keeping it similar to that side. Okay. Like I said, my photos are different sizes than 4x6. They're a little smaller. So I got to work with it. It's fine. All right. So I think this is our layout. I'm going to obviously add some more stickers and things like that, but I don't want to keep you guys on too long. And hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully your layout turns out really cool. And like I said, I love project recipes just because it gives me the cutting guide. I combine papers because there's only little bits on here, and it worked out pretty nice. So thank you guys for watching. Like I said, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube, please do so, because Facebook Lives are being very weird. And I'm trying to index things there since they go away now on Facebook. So definitely follow me on there. Like and subscribe and all of that, so that way you keep getting updates. Hit the notification bell and you'll know when I do a new video. So thank you so much for all your support and for walking through this with me, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.